Well, he took 6 for the most part out of the equation by laying up short.
But he also, Steve, if he makes 4, the tournament's over. I don't, you know, just depends on what you feel like.
Probably thought he had to really push it to reach this green in 2, and if you try to go at it hard with a fairway wood, well, never know. We're in the middle of a 4-hole aggregate playoff here for the 127th playing of the Open Championship. It's the 3rd such playoff in Open Championship history. Jerry Higginbottom, we may have to slap the smile off Jerry's face by the end of the day. Mark's caddy.
Take our time. Full Sunday stroll.
O'Meara, resolute as always.
Well, you heard Mark say a little Sunday stroll. I'm going as fast as I can to not get run over.
You need longer legs, Judy.
This man has so much adrenaline going through his body, Steve. I'm sure surprised it's not a slow trot.
You know, Curtis, I think he's one of the most grounded people on the PGA Tour. He's a great family man, hasn't forgotten his roots, has a sense of the common man, and it's been a delight to see Mark O'Meara's ascendancy to the major ranks of professional golf.
Well, he's put in his time. He works as hard at the game as anybody else. He has redone his swing, reworked his swing since earlier years on tour with Hank Caney, who is not only a swing instructor but a great friend of his. And time has come. He's paid his dues and his time has come. He's been patient. A lot of players are not playing as well in their 40s. He's reaching his peak in his 40s. And he's, as I said earlier, he's always been very confident in his ability to play golf.
Never tried to play outside himself. I think that second shot right there was more a reflection of his personality than it was the situation. Kept the ball in play, can still make 4 from there. And now Watt's 4th shot.
34 on the front.
Yeah.
Well, I believe Andy said 69 back to the hole.
I'm not ready to go, sorry. Huh?
The grass looks very heavy there, but it's actually just long and light.
But he knows deep down inside if he doesn't somehow make 5 here, if he doesn't get this reasonably close to the hole or make a putt for par, his dreams of winning the British Open are pretty much over.
Right up there. Very nice. Hanging tough. As that for par, and a brave one it would be. Now O'Meara. Carried it all the way to the top, but stopped nicely, so that for birdie.
Steve Melnick, as we think about the things that have happened this week, one yesterday with Mark O'Meara at the 6th hole was one of the more interesting things that has happened in this or any other Open Championship and may determine eventually Mark being the champion of this event. On the 6th hole, very difficult par 4, his drive was lost, and as the search went on for his second shot, or his second shot was lost, as the search went on, finally somebody said they found Mark's ball after he had been looking for some 5 minutes, started to walk back to play another ball, consider it a lost ball. It really had a 25-minute total time. There was a lot of discussion. Other rules officials were called in. But if we refresh our memory, the fact that O'Meara was able to take a drop at the place where it was lost, make a really miraculous bogey when almost everyone else was making bogey at 6 instead of taking a 6 or a 7, kept him in position in this championship. When we look back, that decision may be the key one in Mark O'Meara's week here at the British Open.
And Mike, you can only what might have happened had they not discovered that his ball was inadvertently picked up. He made 5 on the hole. It could have been 6, 7, or worse. So a most unusual and provocative decision was made, and clearly will shape the outcome of this championship. Frank Hannigan, very quickly, the right decision?
Can't question the R&A. It's their rules. It's like questioning a Supreme Court decision. They can't be wrong.
All right. O'Meara for birdie. He holed from here earlier. So Brian Watts, who has struggled, still can have the hole and remain 1 back.
And guess who these people are rooting for all of a sudden?
O'Meara has put the pressure on Watts. He hasn't missed a shot in this playoff. Watts simply knows what's at stake. What a brave 5. The margin 1 with 1 to play.
If they're tied after 18, please people play they keep playing 18.
And how quickly it can change. It looked like after Brian Watts hit his 3rd shot short of the green in the rough, it looked like Mark O'Meara might be able to knock it on with a 3-wood, make birdie, and take a 3-shot lead into the last hole. It didn't happen like that. He's carrying a 1-shot lead, and look at this reaction after making the 12-foot par putt. He knows he's still in the game.
After what you've seen from him over the last 2 days, you'd buy stock in him real quick.
Well, it's just incredible that he hasn't been able to make it through the qualifying school on the U.S. Tour. He's stayed in Japan for a number of years now, been very, very successful over there, winning at least $1 million every year in prize money, won 11 tournaments in Japan. Mark O'Meara, 3-wood on the last hole.
Great drive.
He is really swinging well. Not only is he hitting fairways, he is hitting the center of fairways.
And now Watts, whose decision off the tee in regulation nearly cost him a chance to get into this playoff.
And this is just a match play situation. Mark O'Meara continues to put pressure on this man, Brian Watts. When you're the first man up, you continue to hit fairways. It's not easy to beat him. A 3-wood. Remember in regulation play, he hit a driver through the fairway. This is probably a little smarter play.
Another great shot. Watts will be away.
They are both in the fairway at 18. O'Meara leads the playoff by 1. Will this hole decide it, or will it keep going on into the British summer evening? This is the list that Mark O'Meara is hoping to join. Even if he halves this hole with Brian Watts, he'll be with Jack and Tom and both Nicks as multiple major winners in the last 2 decades. Birdie on the last at Augusta. Birdie on 17 is what put him at the top of the leaderboard here today, and a 2-putt par at the last. Watts made the great bunker shot at 18. Now, in the playoff, one behind, Watts is second.
Brian Watts has 212 yards into the hole. Actually has a little better angle than O'Mara, but that doesn't make a whole lot of difference because the wind is coming out of the right and will help the ball get back to that back left-hand hole placement.
Rossi 212 to the hole, but only has to fly at about 190 or 95 yards.
That's right. Not that hot, Curtis, but he's sweating.
I like that. You got it. Trust it now.
His caddy, a Texan, often travels from Dallas to Japan when Brian plays on the Japanese PGA Tour.
Quiet, please.
Tell yourself the right thing.
Rossi, you know what that shows me is that he was going right at it. He knew he didn't want to block it out to the right, play safe. He had to hit it somewhere around the hole.
Absolutely.
Just overcooked it just a little bit and drew it left of the hole.
Kind of knew
it
it
might be with this wind going like this the way it is. I think if you get that 5 out there and draw it, it's going to be fine.
205 yards for O'Mara, and he's going to hit a 5-iron.
Would you play it any different?
Right here earlier. It was perfect, huh? Yeah.
Sit down.
Just a nice one. Just if you get it just out there to the right.
Because you're going to hit it back into the wind.
Yeah, there's a little more wind right to left than we think.
Went from 5 to 4.
Okay. And this will be to the right of the hole. No, you don't play any differently. He had to put it in the fat of the green no matter what happened with Brian Watts. He's going to say he was shooting right at it, but he overcooked that a little bit. But again, that's why you aim to the right. It gives you the ability to miss hit right or left, still be on the putting surface. That one drew a little bit too much and went right over top the hole. And look at the smiles.
Since the beginning of the Masters tournament in 1934, this equals the longest stretch without a repeat winner in the majors. 15 different players have won the last 15 majors. Mark O'Mara is in all likelihood just a few minutes from changing that.